We had the third year-end repo operation. Year-end, traders affectionately refer to it as the turn. The first two were 42-day. Today's was a 28-day. Heavily oversubscribed to, and once again, a tax issue looms. Not only do we have year-end, this week we have 3s, 10s, and 30s, $78 billion, and guess what? The settlement date is the 16th, which is the same day as the next tax day. How does all this occur, and should we be a bit apprehensive that this is all drawing to another big day for the markets and liquidity?
Yeah, I think a little bit apprehensive. The way you phrase it is probably right. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that we're going to have catastrophe. On the other hand, I think there's a real chance that things could go haywire like they did in September. People are bidding, oversubscribing those operations because they want to take no chance. When you're talking about repo finance, if you're underfinanced by even just a little bit, that's it, game over. And so people are being extraordinarily cautious here.
You know, if you look at all the movement of funds since these operations began and started to grow, a couple of big banks have really been huge participators in this operation. Why are we creating all of these too-big-to-fail bank appetites for liquidity, and why aren't they in this game anymore?
Well, I think this is precisely one of the policy issues that the Fed is wrestling with. Where you are right now is if there is another big blow-up, a liquidity squeeze in repo, they will see that as disastrous. They will see that as not being able to control front-end rates. On the other hand, in the longer run, I think they've been also trying to ask that question, why are these large banks that in the past had intermediated money markets not doing their fair share? We had Vice Chair Quarles, the Vice Chair of the Fed for Sup and Reg, talk about the role that some of the regulation may play. So regulation has made the banking system safer, but it's also introduced a bit more rigidity into balance sheets. And I think that fundamental question, how do you make sure the system is as safe as it needs to be, but still has flexibility? Because if you can't get both of those at the same time, then the Fed will be a regular participant in these markets.
You know, we're almost out of time, so I need a really short answer. When I had Jim Grant down right after all this occurred, he said it was a stealth takeover of the repo market by the Fed. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that even a little?
So I definitely say I'll agree with it a little. I don't think it's so stealth, and I think right now they're hoping that it's temporary occupation, not a permanent takeover. They are, in lots of ways, trying to be a big chunk of the repo market until they can pump back in liquidity through their purchases of bills. So I think I agree with that a bit. They're definitely an occupying force in the repo market to try to keep things under control.